Hey guys, Joe here in Hoboken, New Jersey with beauty industry legend Shannon Curtin, founder of the Beauty Boutique Group. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to see you again.
Great seeing you again too. And I want to get into your company and talk a little bit about that. But for those people who are new to the industry, could you give a little bit of your background?
Sure. I'm old to the industry. So I spent 15 years in retail. I had 9 years at Walmart, growing up in the ranks there through, I bought almost every category in the beauty personal care division. And then I led the beauty and personal care division at Walgreens for 6 years. And then I most recently spent time 2.5 years at Coty on the manufacturing side as we went through the largest integration in the beauty industry, merging the P&G specialty business with the Coty business, forming a new company. So my background is all pure beauty.
But both sides of the fence, retail and supplier.
Completely know the P&L inside and out on both sides and how it works together and how we can create value together.
Great. So the Beauty Boutique Group. Why? What was the reasoning behind founding that group?
Sure, of course. So if you're a small brand, let's say you have less than $2 million in EBITDA, this is the sweet spot for me. I can help you find funding if that's what you're looking for, or if you're looking to grow your brands and create an infrastructure, some more sophistication in the system. There's some requirements for me is that it has to be a good for you brand, good for the planet, good for people, good for pets. That's the space that I enjoy.
So sustainability is an important factor.
Yeah. Good brands that are deeply rooted in purpose and that they rise for that purpose, and we get paid for performance, right? So we focus on the performance end of the business and what that structure needs to look like in order to grow. So I help connect the dots, similar to you. You're a connector in the industry, so am I, but to the financial institution sides to help them. And then we also do anything from label design to execution in store and anything in between, because we're a full functioning, full service.
Okay, so that includes things like creative and legal and things like that.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So I can be just starting out with an idea and no knowledge of the retail industry and come to you and you guide me through it?
For sure. Now that would just be a typical consulting discussion, because if you just have an idea, then we need to create some structure around that idea in order for it to be ready to go to market. The good thing is now the barrier to entry, as all of you know, is so low. If you have $50 and a good idea, you can actually get it on up and selling in a couple of weeks. If you want to grow your business long term, go deep in the US, you want to go wide across the globe, then there's some other work that you need to do in order to make that happen, which is where we can offer expertise.
Great. And what type of clients do you work with? Or of the clients that you're working with, give me an example of a typical customer.
Sure. I have all shapes and sizes and levels of where they are in their journey. But one of my clients is, I'll talk about one of our services called the Beauty Boot Camp. And this is something that's fun for some of you that's in big business right now and you feel like you're stuck in a rut. We go in for 8 hours and do a beauty boot camp with you, which is changing the way that you think about performance. The intent is to have a breakthrough at the end of the discussion, at the end of the meeting. So we put everything out on the table, the barriers to growth, all the excuses, the things that happen inside a business that weigh it down, and try to break through anything that's causing the barrier, because some of that happens internally versus externally. And we focus on consumer, we focus on customer, we focus on value add activities and extracting the non-value activities out of the work. Get ready for growth for the next day, get ready for an action plan and a new way of working. That's a beauty boot camp, and we do that with big companies predominantly, because small companies don't have those barriers. They haven't even identified.
They just started, so everything is a barrier pretty much for the small ones.
You know, actually, what's interesting about small micro brands, which I love, is that they don't know what any of the rules are. They don't. The barriers are typically cash and capital and having access to money to fuel the growth, but the ideas and the energy and the intensity is there. And they don't know how anything works, so they create new ways of working, which is also the game changer.
That's a great thing.
Yes, it can really change the game because they don't know how the game is played.
Gotcha. How do you define micro brand?
So that going back to, I'll draw a line in the sand on an EBITDA. So
Gotcha. So it's numbers. It's
2 million and below in
Okay.
EBITDA would mean it's a micro brand.
Okay.
It's out there. They're on the cusp of getting growth. They need investment. They need more structure.
Okay.
They need connections in the industry. So that's a sweet spot for what a micro brand is.
These are the types of brands that we'll often see at On Range Me and in our Discovery Hub programs that we have.
Exactly. Yes, that would be that's a perfect example of where some of these brands would want to partner together for sure.
Okay. Well, just as far as a macro view, what kind of trends are you seeing in the beauty category that are hot today?
Oh, has anyone heard the words CBD?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I have a lot of companies that have access to CBD oils, or they're the manufacturers in the space. They know that this is hot. Ingredient based, the good for you benefits of CBD, but how do you put it in a bottle and make it ready for consumption? What does the packaging need to look like? So there's a lot of discussions in this space. This is going to be a tsunami of CBD companies coming through.
And we're already seeing some of that in some categories.
And in multiple categories now. It's going to start trickling around the entire store. And what does a story need to be in order to break through? So we spent a lot of time talking about the principles of having that consumer conversation, and beauty is different than what you would have in an OTC item, because typically OTC item is solving a particular pain state or a condition, and beauty has that too. So you want to marry the wellness aspect of that along with beauty to have that holistic experience, which is the other place where I see beauty going, is really taking cues from the wellness industry and start infusing that into the products that come out to market.
And you know what's interesting, especially with CBD, and it's a particular challenge because there are supposedly, it's anecdotally, but so many benefits that it's almost a challenge in focus too. I mean, you can't put a list of everything that it does on the packaging, because then people are gonna think it's snake oil.
Right.
So you got to kind of pick your spots.
What's the concentration of it? What does that do? What are the studies behind it? So this is really important to showcase the science that you're working on, what studies you're conducting. And it doesn't have to be an expensive study, but be studying something. At what level and at what concentrate and what other ingredients, when it comes together in a delivery form, actually have a wellness and beauty benefit to it.
Excellent. All right. Well, what I'd like to do is let everybody know where they can find you, and your website is discoverbb.com, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
BB as in beautyboutique.com.
All right, and as always, you could always reach out to me and I'll connect you with her, or find her on LinkedIn or all of the social media. So again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you later. Bye.